Today, we're going to turn this incredible slow roasted garlic into the most delicious pasta you've ever had. First thing first, I'm not going to bore you with showing how I do it because I've done it in other videos, but we're going to roast the garlic. It's in the oven. You just cut a little bit of the top off to expose the bulbs, put a little olive oil, salt, wrap it in tin foil, get it in the oven. We chopped up some mushrooms here. Any way you want to is totally fine. We're going to do some shallot as well. If you got a little green in yours, pull that out. It'll taste better. The heat we're going to use is going to come from the oil from a Calabrian chili container, and then we're going to zest one lemon. Zest it however you want. I find it easier to pull towards me and also kind of rotate the lemon away from me at the same time, but you should get fairly good results that way. That's really all the prep you need to do, and we're doing all of this while that garlic is roasting. So you're really saving time and kind of doing it all together. So we're going to start cooking the mushrooms down here, just a little bit of olive oil, medium heat, throw the shallots in with them, a little bit of salt, and just cook them until you get to that point. Just where you see a little bit of browning starting on the bottom of the mushrooms. This is also happening while that garlic is cooking. So you're just waiting for that to be ready, and then we're going to start bringing it all together. But the mushrooms, once they were done, I pushed them off to the side, and now we're ready to make the sauce. Once you get to that point where you can make the sauce and your garlic's ready, drop your pasta, a little bit of butter into a pan, about a tablespoon, and then squeeze your garlic out. I started with about squeezing half of it out just to see how much garlic I actually got into there. Mat it down a little bit just so it mixes into the sauce a little better. It is nice and soft, so it'll do that anyway. I added one more clove, and then we're going to add a quarter of a cup of cream, mix that all together, and let this come up to a simmer and start to really thicken while that pasta cooks. You don't need to hard boil it. That's what we're looking for, just those little bubbles coming through. It'll thicken up nicely over the course of the 10 minutes that pasta cooks. We're going to add a little bit of cheese just to make this kind of like an Alfredo sauce, but really help it thicken up a little bit. Once that cheese is in, we can start with the other ingredients. We're going to add a little bit of that Calabrian chili oil here. You could pick your heat, totally fine if you want to add more or less. Mix that throughout. Add those mushrooms and shallots back in. We could start to re-warm them at this point because they've been sitting off the side for about 15 minutes. And then add that lemon zest in, and that's your sauce. Let it simmer for another minute or two, and that's the thickness that you're looking for. This is perfect. We'll bring it back down a little bit with some pasta water. But now that pasta has been cooked, drained, there's a little pasta water off to the side, and we're just going to mix this directly into that sauce. Every time I add anything to it, I'm going to add a little splash of pasta water just to make sure it's staying at the right consistency. But you want it to coat the noodles, and you don't want it to be super thick. So just adjust that throughout as you're heating it. There's a little bit of heat on it still, so it will continue to reduce. The pasta will also still absorb a little bit of it, so you're just going to have to keep checking to make sure you're getting the right consistency. Pasta water will do that for you. I added a little bit of basil, and that's it. Once you get the consistency you're looking for, and now you're ready to plate this, don't leave any of those mushrooms behind. Scrape out as much as you can. We're going to top it with a little bit of extra parm, some more basil, a little bit of lemon zest, and then hit it with a little extra virgin olive oil, and now you are good to go. So here we are. Here's the finished product. It smells absolutely incredible. You could smell the spice. You could smell that roasted garlic. It looks creamy. It's everything I want. You can omit so many of the steps or add in other things. You don't need to do the lemon zest. You don't need to do the spice. You can use something other than mushrooms. You could use onions instead of shallots. You could use parsley instead of basil. But let's dive in and let's see how this actually tastes. That's absolutely incredible. The garlic is not overpowering at all. The spice really cuts through, so it doesn't feel like it's an overly creamy dish. This is just a great way to incorporate an average kind of cream sauce and make it something completely different. The spice really elevates it. The garlic elevates it. The lemon zest is also really nice, and I feel like it would be great with or without it. But if you're looking for something creamy, cheesy, really delicious, but you don't want to make your average Alfredo cheese sauce, give this a try, especially if you're a garlic lover, and you are not going to be disappointed whatsoever.